Hi guys, this is Ghazi. It's my first ever YouTube upload, so please be kind with any comments. Today I'm just going to talk about my SCT project. It's a Tekno SCT410.3, and I'm just going to talk about the tools and stuff that I use to do everyday RCing. The first thing that I have is a HPI or Hot Bodies race mat, which is awesome. I love it. It has built-in little areas that you can pop your screws in, and there's 6 of them, so you can pop different screws and shockers and whatever else you like in those areas, and it's rubber and cleans very easily, which is really cool. The only downside to it is that it's black, and most screws are black, so it can be a little bit hard to find some screws and things, so that'd be the only criticism of it, but otherwise it's totally awesome. And if you're looking for a mat, this is pretty cool. I'd go for this personally if I was going to buy again. Other things I use when I first started the getting back into RC cars was I bought a toolkit, and this is a Losi toolkit, and it has the handle with pull back the sleeve, and you slide in and out each tool. And I started off with ready to run cars, which needed no building really, just maintenance and repair, and it's been a fantastic toolkit. It's got all the common sizes, and I think it cost me about 80 Australian dollars, and awesome for anyone that's beginning. It's a great toolkit to have. So moving on from the basic tools that I started off with, I've got a few different cars, but the car I'm going to talk about today is the Tekno SCT410.3, and comes highly recommended. There's a few people I'd like to thank for helping me out as a beginner, and the people like Rich from the RC Network, who, you know, weekly puts up endless amounts of uploads, and, you know, must take a huge amount of time. And for people like me who are just starting off in the sport and the hobby, you know, they do a great job. Squirrel Leprechaun at RC Militia, Vass at Aussie RC Playground, Hemistorm. I've watched heaps of Hemistorm for painting bodies and things, which I love doing personally. All really great websites or YouTube uploads that you know, these people give up their time and do a great job of, you know, helping people out. So, you know, when you watch these guys, give them the thumbs up, even if you don't like what they're saying, or it's not relevant to what you're doing. You know, consider it that these people have put a lot of time and effort into making these videos available for you. With my SCT410, I'm going to run the Spectrum DX4C, sorry, transmitter, and it comes with the receiver as well, which is the AVC receiver, which is pretty cool. So I'm excited about getting that out and making that happen. Some of the tools that I've recently picked up, and I've had a little bit of banter with Richard at the RC Network, and here's my little Orzito cordless drill. It's I think it was 3.6 or 3.7 volt. Best thing about it is it has a rotating handle, LED light, a torque setting, and it cost me 30 Australian dollars, so that's about 20 US dollars at the moment. Comes in a nifty little stand which has all the little tools ready to go, ready to rock and roll for you, and underneath is the charger, so the charger packs away neatly in underneath. So even just for sitting around the house, this tool is just really cool. I haven't tried it on cars yet. I've always just used manual tools like the Losi kit, as I said before, but you know, I'm sort of excited to, as I'm building my own cars, starting the screws off and disassembling screws with this will save a bit of work with the hands. They're not quite as tough as they used to be. I have a little kit that I carry around with me everywhere I go when I'm messing around with my cars, and basically it's full of things like body reamer. So I've got a HPI body reamer, that's a must. I love to buy new bodies and paint them up, and it's got the, I'm not sure whether you can quite see, the depth of the hole size, if you like, the diameter in millimeters marked on the side. It's a double edged blade, and it's very, very, very sharp, so that's a great tool. I bought myself a turnbuckle tool just recently as well, from the guys at Metro Hobby in Box Hill. If you're looking to get into the sport, go and see those guys. They're awesome. Not only are they good fellas, but they are very passionate about their sport, their hobby, and they give great advice, and you know, are so accommodating for somebody like me who's new to the game. I bought this for my Axel Yeti and my XL, and I think it was about $8 or something. So that's a really nifty little tool too. I never go anywhere without my super glue, just for quick patch ups. X-Acto knife. Most of the Ready to Run kits come with a tool similar to this one. I think this one's from my Vorza, and it's got all the different size nut. What have we got? 5.5, 17, 8 and 10. So again, can't live without it. Some spare battery straps. Again, I use those with my Vorza. They're pretty cool. Thread lock. Can't do without the thread lock. Wire cutters. I have changed all of my cars. I've got about 6 cars now, I think, and I've changed all the battery ends and all the electrical components to the Dean's connectors. So snip and change them over to the Dean's connectors. Lexan body scissors, again, about, I think they cost me about $10. They make the job so easy, you know, especially cutting around wheel arches and things like that. Really cool. I have a little set of pliers. These are just little pliers that I use every now and again. Very handy. And because of people like Rich who recommend good quality tools, I've got my MIP set, which I have recently purchased. So I went out and bought the full kit with all the sizes, and you know, they're really good quality, nice to hold, and quite looking forward to using them. I've only just received them in the last week or so, so I'm going to be using them on the new car, which is really cool. I've also recently purchased a soldering iron. And I went for the Hacko, I think it's called the 888 soldering iron, and I picked that up from I think it's called Oratech, a little company in Ballarat, and they sent that off to me, and it only took a couple of days to get it here, so that was fabulous. And great little machine, you know, adjustable tip. I can replace the tip. Comes with the brass cleaner there, got the sponge, and the only thing I had to go on eBay and buy was the little silicone lip, which I just couldn't find on their website, so I actually went to eBay to grab that, and it was about, I think about $9-10 Australian dollars as well. So can't wait to use that as well. That's brand new too. Oh, in my car I'm going to be running the Hobby Wing kit. I've never used any of Hobby Wing's products, so I've got a Hobby Wing 4000 kilovolt motor there, and a speed controller, and little programming box, and I basically went with the Hobby Wing in the end because the waterproof factor, and the guys at Metro Hobbies recommended the product, and they've never let me down in the past with their recommendations. They've always been top notch with their service, so I've lashed out and bought that, and looking forward to using the new product and seeing how Hobby Wing products hold up compared to the other stuff that I've used in the past. Next thing is my the body I'm going to use. I'm going to use the Proline Flowtech body. So I bought the whole body. I love to cut out and paint up the body. I know a lot of people actually hate doing that, but I find it quite therapeutic. That's why I'm actually in the sport. It's a bit of therapy for me, basically, and so I can't wait to cut it out and paint it up, which will be really cool. I'm going to run some Badlands short course truck tyres on it. I mainly drive in a sheep paddock and it's full of long grass quite often, and when it's wet it's really wet and muddy and dirty and good fun. So I need some tyres with plenty of grip, and I like the Badlands because they not only do they have the grip, but they also throw the sort of loose grass, mud, dirt, whatever you want to call it. It also throws that out so it doesn't just stick in the wheel and, you know, start slip sliding away. So they're really cool. And probably the last thing I wanted to show you, the last two things, the servo I chose to pop in the 410.3 is a Savox, and again a waterproof one because of the conditions that I'll be driving in. And again, I got this from Metro Hobbies. The guys there, you know, I always ask their advice. They do it every day, and as I said, they're really into their sport and quite passionate about it, and they're actually very keen for me to take my Yeti in and show them. Haven't had too many people buy the XL Yeti off them and you know, see anything bar the ready to run. Colours that I'm going to use, I like the Lame Flake, the Tamiya Lame Flake, which is basically a rainbow coloured metallic, really hard to see on the camera, I know, and then I back it up with the black, and it just gives it a really great colour scheme. I put it on my Yeti and it looks really good, really good. I'm really happy with how that turned out. So basically, a big thank you to all the people who do the YouTube clips, the guys that I mentioned there before. You know, thanks to you guys, people like me, feed off your great information and your time, and thumbs up to you guys, and I hope you enjoyed my first and probably only ever YouTube upload. Goodbye.